Hello, my name is Paul Lamb and I'm Technical Director at Starkey UK. Here at Starkey, the patient is key to everything we do and innovate for. In this brief presentation, I will explore our tinnitus relief tool, Multiflex Tinnitus, providing a range of masking solutions in all styles from our hearing aid range. Masking solutions are intended to provide relief in several ways. Firstly, reducing limbic system involvement and taking the wearer's focus away from their annoying tinnitus and helping them relax. Often in quiet environments, tinnitus is more obvious and distracting and therefore needs a different signal to let the brain focus on something else. A relaxing sound or an alternative sound often allows patients to deviate from their tinnitus, especially at night or during quieter activities. Here at Starkey, we can offer you a range of different stimuli, and we can now provide you 5 new tinnitus stimulus options to choose from in our ProFit software to help you achieve personalized relief for your patients who experience tinnitus. I'm really pleased to tell you that the Multiflex Tinnitus tool is available in all styles from Starkey. Our current hearing aid range is the Edge AI. This is the wireless family, including 3 RIC sizes and a range of wireless custom devices. However, if your customers prefer smaller hearing aids but still need a tinnitus solution, we can also offer you the signature non-wireless family, which includes a CIC rechargeable system, a CIC battery operated system, and also a miniature IIC using a 10A size battery. Using the Multiflex Tinnitus Pro tool, as I said, has given us the opportunity to offer a wide variety of different masking stimuli. But it's also important to remember that you may need to tailor the sound of the stimulus to your patient's needs. So there are 16 available channels to adjust the gain, the tilt, and the modulation signal that you're providing your patients. And importantly, when we're trying to mask louder tinnitus, there's a display in the software showing uncomfortable loudness level values and safety notifications for the stimulus level above 80 dBA. Now, for flexibility, your patients may want to adjust further, and the My Starkey app allows them to start and stop their tinnitus streaming, adjust the volume, and also the modulation. And they may prefer to stream other relaxing sounds into their devices wirelessly. And this is where Starkey can offer you our Relax app. Traditionally in Starkey hearing devices, we've offered you a white noise solution. We've now made improvements for tinnitus relief by adding new masking options using the ProFit software with 5 different sounds available. In the range of different stimuli you can choose, we introduced 3 new low frequency weighted masking options with ocean noise, pink noise and red noise. Ocean noise is designed to mimic the sound of ocean waves, and it's an alternative option from the traditional noise maskers. Pink noise shifts more low frequency than white, with red noise shifting even lower in frequency weighting than the pink. In addition to the low frequency weighted options, we're also introducing 2 high frequency weighted options as well. Blue noise uses more high frequency energy than white noise, and purple noise features even more than the blue noise. And you can see from my slides the type of sounds that these different options may mimic. For an example, we can look at purple noise mimicking a water tap a hiss, or a dentist drill. However, you may feel you need to focus noise generally everywhere, and that's where white noise gives you that masking flexibility. So it's a broad spectrum of noise across the frequency range that can be tailored to the audiogram of your patients. And this is mimicking things like fans, TV static, vacuum cleaners, or humming. So now we know what we can offer you. How do you set up tinnitus maskers in Starkey products? Well, what you'll need to do, first of all, importantly, is to put the audiometric data into your database, and then you can best fit the hearing aid system of choice. Our best fit protocol is only 3 clicks, and you can simply set up the hearing aid with the best fit protocol. And then on the left hand side of our ProFit fitting software, you will find an option for tinnitus. And if you access that tinnitus feature from the main menu, that will take you into the right screens, which I'll walk through with you next. So here we can see our tinnitus screen. We have at the top of the options a stimulus adjustment, a fine-tuning adjustment, and an opportunity to copy those settings into a different program or even rematch to target. So if I expand the stimulus icon here, I can set up in my first program a type of noise. In this case, we'll choose blue noise. And once I've done that, what you'll see below is a modulation. That's making the variance of the volume of the tinnitus stimulus vary. It's very random. You can choose 3 speeds from slow to fast. And also with an opportunity to switch the hearing aid mic on if you're fitting a traditional hearing aid with a masker, or if you want to just make this device a masker only, you can switch the microphone off. Now, if you wish to make the device a hearing aid and masker device together, you are able to set up a duplicate program. This is called personal, so we're going to make 2 identical programs. And then from my tinnitus screen options, what I can do is come down to the bottom and basically copy the first program I've created and copy it across to program 2. So if you've done some work getting that sound just right, you can copy that straight across to the personal program. The reason we might be doing this is to give the second program just a masker program with no hearing aid whatsoever. And then what we're going to do is hop into indicators so that your customers can differentiate between their hearing aid and tinnitus program and their individual tinnitus program. So you can give this a voice indicator called tinnitus. There we go. You can test the volume level of that sound should you wish. Make sure they can hear the speech alert. And if we just hop back into our tinnitus program here, change the display, and you'll see now what those voice indicators should be for each program setting. So it's important to note that the hearing aid has been prescribed by the software, but that doesn't necessarily mean the level of tinnitus is right. We base the tinnitus sound level on the audiogram, and it is known statistically that a lot of patients report their tinnitus being the loudest at their worst hearing threshold. However, this may not be the case, and we have to make sure we meet our goal of using a tinnitus masker. The masker should be just audible in a quiet environment, but should also be enough to mask out the residual tinnitus. So fine-tuning may be required once you best fit the device. You have an opportunity to adjust the tinnitus sound in many different regions. and this will depend on the type of stimulus that you have selected. So if it's high frequency biased, you can see the areas of tinnitus masking being applied. You'll see there's no low frequency emphasis at this current point. So you may want to consider adjusting the type of sound, but also accessing the fine-tuning screen to lift up any frequencies that are currently not being used. You also may find that the high frequencies are too much, and you need to minimize those down so that they're not distracting the user from other speech sounds. So you can see here the fine-tuning screen consists of 3 different frequency regions, being low, mid and high. Those are normally set up as a group, so you can adjust those per group, but you can also expand these and adjust individual channels or select a row of channels you prefer to adjust and hold the shift key down on your keyboard to highlight the ones you want and then adjust. So I'll take you through all of this in the next slide. Accessing fine-tuning within any of the Starkey products will be on the second tab at the bottom of the screen. So once we have opened up that menu, you're also able to link any of the tinnitus programs that you've set up. So if you want to adjust these together, access the link and select that. If you want to do individually, just press on each program tab and adjust individually. So we open up the fine-tuning program, and you can see here our groups of channels. We've got low, we've got mid, and we've got high frequency. And you can select one of those areas and adjust up and down in small 2 dB steps, testing the sound with your patient to see if that's acceptable. But if you want to individually go into a specific channel, you can open up that band of high frequency channels, notch up or notch down, and you may need to access more than one, so you can just select a row, press the shift key down on your keyboard, and then access those individual 3 channels, again up and down. There is also another feature for fine-tuning within our Multiflex. If you open up the top menu, you'll see the tilt icons. They simply shift emphasis, so the right button emphasizes more of the high frequencies, reducing the lows down, and the left button vice versa, so the low frequencies have more emphasis and the high frequencies will drop down. If you need to reset the level of the tinnitus sound, don't hit the best fit button at the top. That is for the hearing aid only. You'd need to come to the bottom, select copy settings and target match, and then press the target match tinnitus button, and everything will be reset to the original settings prescribed. So once the tinnitus level and sound is right for your customers, they may wish to access the tinnitus feature themselves once they leave you. Now that can be done in several different ways. The Multiflex Tinnitus can be changed by a user control on the hearing aid system. That can be to access the tinnitus program or adjust the volume. They can also do that on our Starlink remote control. You can set up a tinnitus button on the favorite button, and that's where they access the tinnitus feature on or off, or they could easily cycle through programs and get to that tinnitus program. And then they have the volume control available on the remote control to adjust the level of the tinnitus masking stimulus. And finally, they have the My Starkey app. So if their hearing aids are wireless and they're paired to their phone, they can also adjust their tinnitus feature within the My Starkey app, which I'll show you next. So within the My Starkey app, you can access the tinnitus tool from the My Hearing section. That's on the right hand side, highlighted here. Alternatively, they can move through the Programs button, which is in the middle, to just access their tinnitus program. But if they want to fine tune their tinnitus individually, they can do that from the My Hearing, and then they're going to access from that menu the tinnitus feature. Once they've selected this, they have a couple of choices. They can adjust the volume of the tinnitus stimulus, and they can do that individually for right and left ears. And then also the modulation feature. Now you set this modulation to a certain speed within the Profit software, but they can make the modulation or the change of the intensity of the stimulus signal that's varying faster or slower, moving to the right to make the modulation changes quicker, and moving to the left to make those slower. And they can find a setting that's most relaxing and easing their tinnitus the most. So there you've had a great overview of the Multiflex Tinnitus tool. You may want further resources and information, so we do have those available for you. There is a nice tinnitus leaflet for your customers. This gives them education on the problem of tinnitus, but you may want further reading yourself about tinnitus, how to treat it, but also possibly how to assess it with your patients as well. And if you're looking for further product support, including the tinnitus tool we've spoken about today, you can register with Starkey Learn. That's our education website, where there's some short videos and webinars on all of our ranges, our features, our software, and also our apps as well. So I encourage you to take a look there, and you can keep a record of your learning on that site should you need it for your CPD. So thanks very much for listening today. Speak to you soon.